Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This reading is for the full moon taking place in the sign of Leo, February 5th, 2023. You don't have to have Leo anywhere in your chart to be able to watch this reading. What I do on my channel is every month I take a look at new moon and full moon energies for everyone collectively. So full moon time is a time where we will often let things go, release, purge, make changes, adjustments, take a look at what's not working, maybe even do magical workings, all in preparation of kind of like cleaning the slate and also creating space, right? So that way when new moon time comes around, we are in a receptive state. We're in a position where we're free of those things that aren't working, free enough to receive the new that we've set our intention to attract. So it's always interesting to me to see what at full moon time we might be letting go, changing up, switching up, releasing, and at new moon time to see what we might be welcoming in and or attracting into our life. So let's go ahead and get this reading started. I usually start with an oracle card to kind of like find out what the theme of the reading is, or the month, or the full moon and or new moon is for everyone. And I usually start with the fortune reading cards. So let's see what the theme of this full moon in Leo is all about, taking place February 5th, 2023. So full moon in Leo, what is the theme and main energy of this particular full moon? Let's see one card. Okay. Then I'm also going to grab the healing with the angels to add another layer. I think, yeah. I think that's right side up for this deck. So let's see. Let's find out the theme. Whoa, okay. I'll grab another one. At this full moon in Leo. One more card. All right. So let's see what we have here. We have the fortune reading card. Whoa. Now, doesn't that make sense? Leo energy being the sun, and then you have the sun card. It says, open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. That's extremely positive. So, okay, the vibe that it just gave me was that there is light being shown or shown to you, or a light is shining down or showing the way. Okay, I just got the image of a path, excuse me, a path. And it's like you're walking a path and you're coming up across a hill, right? And it's not until you reach the peak of that hill where you actually see the sunrise. Okay, so it's kind of like this feeling of like coming out of the dark and accessing the light. But it's like you've been walking a path in the dark, it kind of feels like, for quite some time, is the feeling that that image gave me. And you're coming into this clarity, this feeling of understanding, this knowing, and this space and time where everything's just going to start making itself clear to you and start making sense. Because sometimes when we're traveling in the dark, we don't always understand where life, the journey itself, or the path is taking us. But you've been on that climb. Like I said, it was a hill, right? So it's kind of like you've been on that climb. You've been on an upward trajectory, and you're about to reach your pinnacle, which tells me that's also giving the feeling of achievement, because the sun is there. It's like you're reaching the sun. You're finally seeing the light, and the sun is finally closer to you now and shining down on you, like, you know, maybe you felt it wasn't before. You know, sun symbol is all about success. It's all about, like your card says, growth. It's all about joy, vitality, life force energy. And yeah, you do need the sun in order to grow. But also, again, because I felt that there was like you know, coming out of the darkness, coming out of the shadows and into the light. Let's go to the idea that, you know, there's so many things that also grow in the dark, right? Like seeds get planted in the dark soil. They're in the dark, they're underground. And it's like that sun's energy feeds that growth process in the dark. So there's a lot of growth that takes place in the dark. So even though you might have been walking up a hill, climbing up a hill in the dark most of the time, there was so much growth taking place there. And now you're about to see where all that growth is leading you. And that feels huge to me. So there's a mystery surrounding where your path has been taking you this entire time, because there wasn't much revealing itself, but the sun is here to reveal it now. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot, but let's see. Oh my gosh, I freaking love this. Yes, the time is now. The time is literally now. The timing is lining up, okay? For you to finally see where all this growth, where it was all leading. If you were walking or felt like you were walking kind of blindly, right, in that dark space, maybe through the shadow or through the unknown, it's because the timing hadn't lined up for you quite yet. But you're approaching the horizon line. Do you see what I'm saying? And now is where you're going to start to see everything fall into place, because the time is right for it. So you can't miss what's meant for you. This full moon is that journey from the dark into the light. It's also this energy of obviously releasing the past, letting those things go so you can access your light. You're finishing this journey in the dark. You're finishing the journey of transitioning out of that energy. And the time is right now for things to start to go your way in a positive direction with that high vibe energy of the sun. So let's see. Look at that. Power, potential, stepping into your divine power, to know your power, to recognize your power. I feel like part of that journey coming out of, like I said, through that dark shadow stuff, there was so much growth taking place there, but it was also you learning to recognize your power, get in touch with it, understand it, embody it. And it's feeling like the sun energy is coming through so you can fully work with your personal power. Because think of the sun. The sun is an energy source. You can give energy to an entire grid through solar energy, right? It's power. That in itself is power. You're accessing your sunshine. You're accessing your power. Your energy field is getting powered up. And the time is right for all of these things to start happening for you, reflecting to you, showing themselves. You see, like all those things that you felt were elusive, hidden, veiled, unknown. Man, the revelations that are going to come through with this full moon are going to be super powerful, but it's all in alignment with the divine's timing for your journey, your experience, and your life. So expect this. I'm feeling like epiphanies, aha moments, energy of clarity. And it's just all going to start to freaking make sense. Like all that hold up, all that wait, that long ass journey where nothing was making sense, nothing made itself clear. The understanding that you're going to gain, it's going to all make sense. All of it's going to come together to make sense. So it says, please open your heart, right? Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead of you. So much growth. And it does feel like a reward for everything that you've endured, for your patience. It feels like you've been, this feeling of being forged under fire. Like, what an initiation into the mysteries that was. But you're ready to blossom, you're ready to bloom, and all these things that have been accumulating for you, basically, during that growth process, are now going to start to show signs of life. Because the sun is life. It is life force energy. And the time is now. You're ready. You're ready. Okay, and Spirit is kind of giving you the heads up about that. The time is now. All those things you've been waiting for, wondering about, you're ready. So I have the uncommon tarot that I'm going to be using here for more insight. Let's get 3 cards about this full moon in Leo, February 2023. Again, the theme of this full moon is the results showing themselves of all the growth that you've undergone, all the growth that you've been waiting to see develop. These results are going to start showing themselves, reflecting themselves, making sense to you. Everything, the way everything has lined up until now, maybe was a mystery, but it'll start making sense to you because the time is now. You're ready for this, though. You're ready to receive. Okay. You're ready to fully embody and step into your power. That's what all the growth was for, so you could. Okay, so let's see what we have here. The 2 of Coins, 2 of Pentacles, whoa, 2 of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. Oh my gosh. Now, if I have to consider, technically, aren't we still in Aquarius season? So that makes sense with that Queen of Swords. But if I have to consider the growth and the strength and the resilience that maybe that period of walking in the unknown or in the dark means, right? If I had to equate that to one card, it would be the Queen of Swords, because when all is said and done, she's wiser, stronger, more resilient, and literally forged. I mean, you think about the sword that she's holding, that has been forged in fire. She is that energy. And you are, again, with these 2 cards, the 2 of Coins, the 2 of Wands, it feels like they're confirming each other. Okay. You are right now taking that journey from the dark into the light. And as you take that journey to reach your sun, right, to reach those better days ahead, to reach your fullest potential in full bloom, you are kind of dipping and dabbling, vacillating between both realms, the old and the new. This is the energy of making that transition. Like I said, you're walking up the hill, and as you slowly walk up the hill, like you're in the dark, but as you slowly walk up the hill, you start seeing more light, you start seeing more sun, until you eventually reach the top of the hill and you see the sun rise. Okay, it starts getting brighter and brighter the more you go, the further you go. And the energy of the 2 is finding the balance in between the old and the new, in between the light and the dark. It is energy of alignment. and finding the equilibrium. I feel like that's what you've done. That's what all of this has been for. Like, you've been going through or taking that journey so you could learn to balance your energies in preparation of all these blessings that are headed your way now, because the time is right for it too. In the process of going through that, you have become the strong, resilient backbone of steel energy of the Queen of Swords. You've gotten to know your truth. You've gotten to know your most authentic self. You're fully in alignment with who you are, and you've gained strength through your struggles and have become that strong, resilient force of wisdom, knowledge, knowing, truth, integrity, authenticity, right? Now, I feel like the Two of Coins and the Two of Wands are just, to me, reiterating the feeling of that in-between, from the old to the new, the dark to the light. You're traveling right now as we speak through this full moon in between worlds. But you're keeping it all together. How would you say? It's this giving me this vibe of like being forged in fire, being like a diamond from the rough under pressure, right? If a diamond gets formed under pressure, it gets faceted from the rough in order for it to shine, in order for it to be its most brilliant, beautiful, empowered self. And there's a delicate balance, right, that you go through. Like it's a refining process in essence. And that's what's taking place with these energies here. It's kind of hard to describe. It feels like you're maintaining your balance, and you're doing it with such grace, even through those in-between stages of the unknown and the known, the seen and the unseen, the old, the new. You know what I'm saying? That's why that Two of Coins is balancing these two coins, and she's in the middle between all the things happening around her, yet she's managing it to keep it together. Even under pressure, even with such grace, she's holding it down. And that has been the energy. Maybe that's the energy of this full moon, making that transition from one timeline to another, from one energetic vibration, I guess, to another. And there's that delicate balancing act between the two before you fully transition over and embody everything that you've gained through your growth process. Because it does feel like the journey to arrive at your sunshine, let's say, was accumulating and storing up things for you that you haven't been able to see yet, that you haven't been able to technically claim yet. You've been at a crossroads probably with the Two of Wands for quite some time, because that's a transition. Being at a crossroads is a transition. Like, you're in between two things, two realms, two timelines, two choices, two versions of you, the old version of you versus the new version of you. And sometimes you're held in that in-between space where all the growth is taking place until the time is right for you to forge ahead, or for the timeline to fully split onto a new trajectory and for you to go with it. Sometimes you're in the in-between of those two energies, balancing the ups and downs, hovering somewhere in that liminal space until you fully become the new version of you that you have been working on becoming. And the time is right for you to step into that version of you that maybe you've been doing a lot of work on in the shadow. consider you're about to step into the fullest expression of you with that Queen of Swords, because she knows who she is. And she's very much empowered. The directions, okay, the direction forward, the direction ahead, the path ahead with the Sun is going to make itself clear with that Two of Wands. And sometimes when you're in a crossroads and you're vacillating back and forth between things, you don't really know what the correct path is. So you just hover where you need to be for the moment. Sometimes that is in the unknown until everything makes sense, like I said, or it becomes clear to you. So this full moon is going to make a lot of things clear to you. And if you have choices to make, those choices also will become clear. The right decision will also be made clear, because the Queen of Swords will make sure of that. She delivers the truth. She can see the truth. And the truth does not slip by. Okay, it makes itself very clear. Nothing gets past her, in other words. So you just know that the information, communication, clarity with the Sun and the Queen of Swords that you need to distinguish and determine and discern the truth is going to be there. And the path is going to make itself very, very clear. And the energy of vacillating back and forth, or hovering in place, or walking in the dark or in the unknown, will conclude itself basically soon enough and right itself at the same time. The time is now. You're ready for this. You're ready to step out of this in-between. And fully embrace and embody the path that's being prepared for you. And I feel this energy of, you can't miss your shot, right? Because look at the arrow. You can't miss what's meant for you. You're going to hit your mark. You're going to make your mark. You can't choose wrong. You can't make the wrong choice, because sometimes the twos can talk about that. You can't make the wrong choice. Decision making right here with these two cards, that you can't make the wrong choice. The right choice, the optimal choice is going to be made very clear to you. The light will get revealed to show you that. And you won't be able to miss what's meant for you. The Power card is also giving me the vibe of you being fully supported through this change and transition. There's so much support surrounding you, so you are led, moved, and headed in the right direction. Like I said, the feeling is you can't go wrong. You definitely can't go wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab a few cards here. This is a big turning point, this full moon, okay? It's a big turning point, maybe even a breakthrough. You might see it as a breakthrough as well with this full moon. But there's such a happy, strong, warm vibe of support surrounding you as you transition over onto a new path or into a new timeline, you see. You have so much high vibe energy coming from the Sun card. So it's definitely a positive turn of events being presented to you, shown to you, made clear to you. And it's all divinely orchestrated with precision in regards to divine timing. Let's see if we can get 3 cards here. Voice. Okay, those are your instinct, your intuition. Look, we also have the Sun again. Oh my gosh. Aha. You've been waiting for this. That hibernation energy, of being still and in the shadow and in the dark. Like I said, things grow in the dark, right? You plant a seed in the soil, it grows, it takes root in the dark. Yeah, I mean, this is this is basically confirming to me, like I was saying, you might get some information, a download, some form of communication, clarity, and knowing that gets, you know, spoken or made clear to you intuitively, instinctually, right? With the wolf energy. The wolf energy is also one of facing your fear, so have no fear. The sun is shining on you, all this high vibe energy, those things that have been, you know, gestating in the dark, you know, growing in the dark, are now going to start to show signs of life, clarity. And it's like, it's all helping to move you forward into the future, right? With a positivity surrounding it all. So if you've been held up from making plans or didn't really know where things were taking you or going, and I say that with the Two of Wands, those things are not going to be held up anymore, because they were held up so they could be prepared. It kind of feels like things were held up, or you were made to wait, right? While they formed a good root system, or they stabilized themselves energetically, you know, vibrationally first. They have to, because it kind of, everything gets created in the spiritual vibrational realm first, right? And those things have to be secured first before they can tangibly manifest themselves physically and start to show signs of life beyond surface, right? You know what I'm saying? Beyond surface level, or on the, yeah, how do I explain this? Because everything grows in the dark, and it takes a while before you start to see that growth surface level. Do you see? And a lot of times our manifestations and our journey is all gestating in those, you know, those places of the unknown and where you can't see, before they start to show signs of life physically, surface level. You see, I'm equating or using the analogy of a seed to your manifestations and whatnot. And sometimes those manifestations have to get physically, or how would you say, energetically secured first, vibrationally, before they can physically demonstrate themselves in your everyday 3D experience. And that's what was happening in those, you know, in that shadow, in that dark space of growth, let's say, or where you've been waiting and things had felt held up. It's because Spirit was energetically and vibrationally securing it first, preparing it for you before it could be revealed. You know, think of the gestation of a baby in the womb. You know, it's the same process. You know, it has to go through a process of growth in the womb before a child can be born into the world physically, so a mother can hold, you know, him or her. So it's that same process. But expect some downloads, some communication, some form of knowing to come through, which is going to shed light on maybe why there's been a holdup, maybe why things took as long as they did, or as far as where the journey's taking you now. There's going to be light shed. We have two energies of the sun here to confirm that. Things will be made clear, very, very clear to you. And you're going to know why things took time the way they did, or the journey was long and drawn out the way it feels on the table here. Or why you've been hovering in that in-between and in the unknown for all this time. You're going to see why. For one, I think it was all being prepared for exactly the right time for you. Because Spirit's not going to deliver it sooner, right, than it needs to be. I always use the analogy of, it's not going to deliver you an undercooked meal, or an overcooked one, mind you. It's going to deliver it right on time when it's done to perfection. It's the same vibe of the seeds that you've planted, or the growth process itself, taking what it needs to take. Sometimes it does take a while. But just know that time that you've been in that in-between, it was all a growth process, a preparation process, So that way, when the time was right, you were ready for what's ahead of you. You were ready for the blessings. You were ready for everything that you've been working on energetically to finally be reflected to you outward and physically. I want to say congratulations to you as a collective. For those of you watching, resonating with this reading, you've earned your stripes. Queen of Swords, definitely. Okay, you've earned that. Yeah, you're ready for whatever's headed your way. So open your heart and be ready to receive, like the Sun card says, right? So let's go ahead and grab a final oracle from the Sacred Destiny Oracle. See what the final message is here for this full moon in Leo. One card, let's see. And I'm going to read directly from the book. So let's see. Focus. Okay. Let's see what that says. You know what? Honestly, I can't say that I've gotten that card before. But let's see what it says. Okay. Snowy Mountain Peak. Mountains traditionally represent transcendence and spiritual evolution. Okay, so let's just take a moment and digest that. Because I felt that this whole journey was a process of growth, right? In preparation of what's to come. You've been taking that journey, you've been climbing that hill, climbing that mountain, basically. And you're about to reach your pinnacle. So that does tie in. Oh, wow, okay. It says they also symbolize rising above mundane situations and reaching greater heights. The snow at the peak represents pristine clarity. Oh my gosh. Okay. The clarity that the Queen of Swords gets. The clarity that the sun brings. Okay. Absolutely. Everything's going to start making sense now with this full moon. It says mountain peaks are often the destination of spiritual pilgrimages. That's what you've been on. You've been on a spiritual journey and pilgrimage this entire freaking time. And it was arduous as all hell because you've been climbing uphill. But you're about to reach your pinnacle and you're about to access the horizon line, the sunshine, the sunrise, right? Holy cow. Okay. Many cultures believe that the tops of mountains were the resting points of the gods and celestial beings. Again, I felt with the power card over here that you were being spiritually supported and empowered, okay, through this journey so you can access your sun. Okay, let's take a look. The sacred landscape wants you to know what you focus on is what you pull to you. So put your attention on that which is worthwhile. Concentrate on one desire. Direct your intent to one thing rather than being scattered in many directions. Again, you're not going to be scatterbrained anymore. You're not going to be hovering in the unknown, unable to see, unable to decide your path or know where you're going. That's why the sun is here to bring clarity to all those things that have kind of left you, walking or feeling like you've been walking blindly. Okay. It says, when your thoughts and actions are unfocused, it dilutes and diminishes your forward movement. It is much easier to gain results when you are concentrated on one path. Gather your inner resources and with intensity and passion, go forward and upward, and you'll see results. And I think that's what you're doing. You're about to see the results. Okay. All that journeying that you've been on, feelings of stillness or where things just weren't moving forward, that was you kind of trying to gather your wits about you, find balance, equilibrium, harness your energy, and keep yourself or try your best to be in alignment, right? But I was feeling in the beginning of the reading that you're about to see the rewards, or the results, as this card says, for the journey and all that you've been through, right, to get to this point. It says this is also a card of spiritual transcendence and traveling to higher realms. So stay focused as you elevate your higher consciousness. You are very close to heavenly realms. So again, spiritual support, feeling fully supported in order to transition you over from the old timeline into the new, right? From that period of the shadow into the light. You have been fully supported this entire time by those heavenly realms. Okay? Not only that, you've elevated your consciousness so you're closer to it as well, or you're operating from that higher vibration, you see? Yeah, makes total sense to me. So let's grab the dice for angel numbers. If you're not familiar with my channel, I do roll the dice for angel numbers. The numbers that show up for you, you can go ahead and find a source online to help interpret the angel numbers. A lot of times when you do the research, you'll find that the angel number that has come up for you does confirm a lot of what I've already said in these readings, and or provide you with something you may need personally on your journey. I don't recommend the source because it could be one you don't like. Two, I never want to imply that one source is better over another. Trust me, when you come across a source that you resonate with, your heart will tell you to go with that one, and that's the right one. So don't doubt that for a second. Also, I want you to take the journey to research the numbers for yourself, because oftentimes you may come across other serendipity, synchronicity, confirmation that spirit needs you to find. If I gave you a shortcut, I might rob you of that experience. I don't want that to happen. Likewise, I always remind everybody to please refrain from putting the number interpretation in the comment section for the same reason, because we don't ever want to rob someone of, finding their own magic and having that additional layer of experience. So let's go ahead and see what number comes up for you for this beautiful full moon reading. I'll roll one dice at a time. So let's see. 8. Hold on. 8, 0, and 8. So 808. Okay. Go ahead and look up that number. See what it brings to you. If you feel that this has helped and connected for you in some magical way, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. Consider joining my channel membership for more content that is exclusive, uploaded just for channel members. So you'll find readings that I don't put out publicly there, in addition to other content. And if you want to take it a step further beyond that to support what I do, consider checking me out on Etsy. The link to my Etsy store is down below in the description box. I have handmade crystal jewelry, other crafts that I make by hand on my free time, including personal readings upon availability. So my time is very limited and I don't get to post readings that often, but when they do come available and I have the time, I will always make sure to have a listing available in my shop. So I will leave you here. Have a beautiful and very happy full moon, everyone. Take care and always keep shining.